tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, ho! I can't do the rap. Oh, around the outside.
Remember that one?
Guess who is back? That's right. Ha, ha, ha. Sorry, I'm really into this song. And I'm into Quantico. Guys, Quantico is back at it again. I am so happy to be here, this time with a whole new panel, who I'll be introducing very shortly. But it's your girl, Kanika Lal. You can follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal. Thank you again so much for tuning in. I know you guys were tweeting and really excited for the show, so let's get into it. To my left, I have...
This is Isaac Johnson. You can follow me on Twitter. Oh, the music just... Oh, that just stopped.
I know, right?
You guys are already bored with me.
It's a pause. It's a pause.
Yeah, it was.
It's a mic drop. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was a mic drop. Isaac Johnson on Twitter. The Isaac Johnson on Instagram.
Hey guys, I'm Andrea Fasano. Super psyched to be sitting next to this guy because I think we're gonna have a lot of fun here at Quantico. You guys can follow me on all social media at Andy Fasano. That's Snapchat, Twitter, Instagram, Periscope, whatever you're on.
Yeah.
And I'm so pumped to be part of this panel and talk about this show.
I'm so happy. It's like this is a new beginning.
Yes.
You know, like it's a whole new panel, a whole new fresh perspective. So I think it's gonna be good.
Half a season.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like kind of like a whole new show and a new pilot in a way.
Because it was forever since it was on.
3 months hiatus.
I know.
So tell me, initial thoughts. What was your first reaction when you saw this?
Really dug it. I liked the first 11 episodes. Seemed to be like a big old build up into like whodunit, that sort of thing, which we still have a lot of that going on.
Yeah.
Having like Elias, I guess jumped out the window at the end of there.
Yeah, man.
Another jumper at the beginning of this episode, and now we're still sort of in like which one of these guys is the most dirty? Is it Caleb? He seems kind of suspicious. We had him at the end of the episode walking through Grand Central. I really like it. I like the directions going. At least we know now that Alex didn't do it, or at least everybody else knows she didn't
Exactly.
do it. We knew she didn't do it.
We're on the
Now
same
everyone else knows.
page.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you. I think Caleb is looking mighty suspicious after the last one. And we found out, I think, a few into the last half of the season that he was in a cult and all of that news coming to the surface. He's a little untrustworthy, although he had the whole thing with Shelby about making other people trustworthy, like, hey, it's your shit, I'm gonna bring it to light instead of helping you find it for yourself, which I kind of like that battle between them, but that's old news now. Liking that Alex is free and kind of back with the whole FBI crew, but everybody's a suspect, man.
Again.
As always,
Yes.
you never know with this show, which is obviously why it's so suspenseful.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of Alex, you would think that there's a load off her shoulder, but she's more of a mess.
Than ever.
And than ever, she's like in this her own zone. So I mean, we can get into New York pretty much when it kind of comes full circle in a way, because she's kind of
From
like
the pilot, you mean?
from the pilot, right? Because she's still kind of isolated. People are seeing her
Very
in a
much
different
so.
way, and she's at this bar where somebody random comes up to her. Now we know it's Brian Goldman, but she does the same thing as she did to Ryan. You know how she like read Ryan, then they like slept together.
Very good point
Yeah, I was gonna
that
say,
it was around.
It
Yeah.
was exactly like you're starting back in the same place, because like we're not gonna hook up, except we totally are.
Yeah, exactly. It was heated. And by the way, she comes from Bollywood where no one kisses on screen, so it was a big thing for her. Like she felt a little awkward. She would say in
Wow.
interviews, you know, we don't kiss in Bollywood movies. Well, we is if I'm in a Bollywood movie. Yeah, so it's definitely interesting to see that dynamic. But anyways, so Alex is just so head on right about Elias, thinking that there's more people behind the whole plot. Did you guys think like it was kind of odd that no one was on her side for this?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I wondered why she was the only one pushing that agenda, but then at the same time, I thought, well, why does she believe Elias? I mean, he could have just been making up that story. He's kind of suspect during the whole first half of the season as well, so kind of thought, like, well, why does she specifically believe him? If he was desperate, those are the things he would say.
Right, right. That's a good point. To add to the coming to through full circle.
Yes.
I do believe that nobody else believed her. Like, I do get that. However, how the whole, like, I love the flashbacks. I'm not so into the present day.
Really?
And it got me, as the season went on, I got more into it, especially as things unraveled.
Yeah.
But just like in that one, not only was she isolated, but nobody believed her. And you're talking, like, you see all of these connections she made with old people. Liam especially. Liam got me so sketched out in the first few episodes. And I know, like, you know, we're
a lot of
starting
people
the second.
felt that way. You were not the only one.
I still think he's kind of behind it. I think he's very good at being two-faced.
Yeah.
Look, he even had her investigated by Ryan, then not investigated,
Yeah.
then became her literal butt buddy, then, pun intended, then, well, we don't really know yet, but, and then, like, now he's on her side, and, oh, Alex is a good girl. Like, you knew her father, you knew all these things, you know what kind of girl she is. You should have been behind her from day one, and instead, you were leading the charge against her. So there's something sketchy about him, there's something sketchy about Caleb, but again, like, with her trying to tell the truth, and everyone just being like, brush it under the rug, we'll figure it out, or there is no other truth. It's no one believing her again.
The Liam thing, I want to quickly point out that
Yes.
he did have a terrible past.
Yeah.
He was guilty of those other attacks that happened, so I think he didn't want to take another chance. He wanted to kind of, I think he was a little bit pressured.
Someone so close.
But you're right. It's like they kind of like highlight some people and they give their characters as if they're shady, but then they completely forget about them. Like we've seen so many characters appear. Not to get off on a rant, but we'll go back to the plot. But we've seen like Alex's mom appear, and then she's kind of disappeared. And I thought that Alex's mom had a lot to do with something, and there's something to do with Charlie. So it's hard for me. For Caleb, is so innocent, but I think the whole the double identity where we left off, where Mark Raymond. And then we also found out that his dad died in the terror attacks.
That's crazy because I thought way more people would have died from that.
Yeah.
Obviously, not really because the show must go on. Yeah. But they were all supposed to be moved, so that's kind of crazy that they were all. But yeah, interesting that he was a specific character that passed.
But Caleb's mom is actually siding with Alex.
I think she sees something.
She also believes there's more. So she's not alone, Alex, in this, right?
Did she
Am I
say
mistaken?
that?
Didn't she say that in the TV that she thinks there's more people behind Elias?
Oh, Claire?
Mm-hmm.
No,
mom.
I don't think so.
She was like, no, he acted on his own.
She wants to move on from it.
Okay, then I missed that. So then I think she's definitely the way the cameras were like panned at her and Alex. I know at first I was hesitant. I think she's definitely a suspect.
I think at any point you could suspect anyone because they're motivated.
No, but think about it. Because her husband died all of a sudden. Now she can have this like higher position in
she's like power hungry. She wasn't really necessarily into like dad. It was like a power move. But I think the show does a great job of having you suspect anyone at any point because even though no one believes Alex, she's sort of alone in the story. I thought like, well, maybe Liam is. Why does he want to get a drink? Why is he giving her like the late night text?
I know.
What's going on with that? Is this a personal interaction he's looking for, or is he trying to get her alone to kind of figure out what else is going on there?
I think he's attracted to her.
Well, yeah, he's attracted. I mean,
I think he's been attracted to her.
Most people are attracted to Priyanka Chopra.
Yeah.
Oh, so what?
Mumbles over here.
Obviously, she's a hottie. Yeah.
But I think his also relation to her family and he does have a weird past also with alcoholism, right? And he's just like a mess in his own right, in his own in his own life.
Yeah.
So maybe that he's just screwed up.
He is. He's a dark.
But
past.
I think he's
because him and Miranda had a thing too.
Right.
Jeez, Liam.
Right. But I think he's very specific when it comes to his work. I think that's where it all makes sense to him.
Yes.
So I wouldn't put it past him. But.
Okay, so speaking of New York timeline, well, not really speaking of, but going back to that. So yeah, she's having her hearing, et cetera, and then we get an encounter with Shelby and Alex. And Shelby is just totally against Alex's betrayal almost because the paparazzi started following Shelby. She had to move to Georgia because everyone found out that she was having an affair with her boss. Yeah. AKA Caleb's dad, AKA your ex-boyfriend's dad, AKA you freaking BITC.
Shouldn't have went there.
Yeah. Caleb was a nice guy.
Interesting that you said that though, because you said that Shelby was one of your favorite characters.
I know. You're right. I like Donald Trump. I go back and forth.
Yeah, well, of course. There's so much to them.
Okay, I like her. Yeah, I don't. You're right. Now I think Shelby's guilty. You know why? Because in the ending got me. The ending, which we'll talk about, got me thinking she might be the one. But you're right. You caught me.
You think Claire so far? You think possibly Liam, also Shelby?
No, I don't think Liam. I just think
Not
Caleb's
Liam?
mom and Shelby.
Okay.
It's something to
Okay.
do with it.
Okay.
But and then we hear about Duncan
Yes.
Oh, the
because
jumper.
the jumper.
Yeah, or
Who said
the
he
hacker.
didn't have
the hacker
he didn't have
helped
a
her discover
choice.
the-
Yeah, so he was the hacker who helped her detonate the
Which
second bomb.
leads some credence to Elias's, well, there's somebody else behind this and all that kind of thing. Which obviously, I mean, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about the whole episode,
Right.
but there's someone talking to Alex at the end of the episode on the phone, the garbled voice. Like there is someone else involved that we get to, which is like, now who is that person?
And did you guys think it was like? Do you think Miranda should have at least backed Alex up?
I think is in her, like, because they had that conversation by the stairwell. I think she is in the way that she best can. I think she was being honest. Miranda's the one who saved her,
Right.
who helped her escape. So Miranda's been kind of consistent in that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think she was just kind of, like, she hasn't told her lie. She's the only one that wasn't like, hey, lie. She was like, Liam was backing you up through his own screwed up Liam way. But she still didn't do anything herself this time. I just don't, I think she's kind of like, what else can I do? You know?
Yeah. Well, she did say that she said, I'm backing you in my own way by saying your
Yeah.
story is BS.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes
And
sense.
then Alex went ahead and brought in the whole
Charlie
brought
thing.
in the Charlie thing. I forgot the exact line.
It was like,
She just threw that back in her face.
it was
Yeah.
kind of with the backstory we saw of Charlie, that there are these people. She said you were right about him, meaning Charlie is behind this somehow. Would he beat himself up? Is that like what we're
Oh,
supposed
do you
to
think that
infer?
could have been a foreshadowing as if he could be
Yes.
behind this?
Yeah, like
then-
that's why he's not telling anyone anything. Like that's what was weird to me about that. We're gonna find out that she was right about Charlie being a bad kid, or
Yes. I think as the Quantico timeline develops, we're going to see much
More of
more
that.
danger and trouble
sure.
coming from Charlie. We will get to the Quantico
is sad.
timeline. But okay, yeah, then of course Ryan visits Alex and he's also like, get your shit together, you know? Like you need to... He thinks that she's in a mess. She's in a different...
that annoyed me.
Yeah, that she needs help.
Yeah.
That she's, still recovering from what happened at the attack. But yeah, it's annoying.
It is, and it's months later, and it was
Yeah,
funny
3
how
months
Alex threw Natalie in his face, and he was like, "But she's not my girlfriend." Okay, that matters in this conversation at this time. Like,
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, it's months later. Like, it's so hilarious that their romantic relationship's still getting involved or in the way, and of course we want that. We want to see more of that.
So I don't want to bring up my old co-host because they're dead and gone. Which I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. But one of them hated the soap opera of the show. They hated the relationships and
Really?
the romance. So I want to ask you guys: do you like that? A and B? Do you kind of see it less of an influence in this episode? Do you think they might be holding back from it?
They definitely held back, but I don't mind that part of the show.
It makes it interesting,
It's
right?
part of the thing. I mean, like, there's a lot of like Grey's Anatomy going on with the show, only like with the FBI.
Good reference. I like it.
But yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. I see them holding back a little bit, but like Ryan there with his like longer beard, so he knows that some time has passed. That's a little technique used there by the show
Nice.
creators, I'm sure. But I don't know. He's definitely. He hasn't gotten over.
Right.
There's
Of course.
there's still a flame burning there.
For sure.
But at the same time, he's protecting her. I don't know.
I just don't like how Ryan is such an adorable pushover that like him being so steadfast on like tell the truth.
She needs a
I know.
steadfast man.
Yeah, except he's
Right.
wrong. He's like almost always wrong.
So you're not a Ryan and Alex fan?
I am a huge Ryan and
Oh.
Alex fan. I'm just saying that
Wait,
Ryan
what
as a
is your-
I'm
character.
kind of a Liam and Alex fan.
Liam and okay.
No.
Wait, what is he wrong about? What is Ryan wrong about?
I just like he's constantly being pushed, obviously due to his job, to do these roles and
Yeah.
be undercover, like she said in the
Yes,
last
you're
one.
right.
And I just feel like he's always on the wrong side of the fence, even though it's not the fence that side he believes in. Do you know what I mean? Like
Totally.
he's just doing his job.
He was always a pushover. Like
He's
Liam made him
always
do
a
something and then
pushover. Yes, and so
No,
that's
he's a
why
guy.
I don't.
He's a guy who follows like rules.
He follows his orders.
He follows orders.
Yeah,
that's
but-
just to move.
Agreed.
Even though he likes her and wants to believe her,
Yes.
there's no hard evidence. He's like, he doesn't want to see her
Like,
be
follow your
full
heart,
of,
man. Just follow your heart.
Exactly.
I
That's
don't
what
think
I'm
that's
saying.
him though. I don't think he's a
No,
follow your heart kind
but
of
I
guy.
love them.
Mm-hmm.
I do love them.
And you love Caleb and Shelby?
Yes, I loved Caleb and Shelby. I love Caleb.
I
just
know.
hands down. I just like
He's our
hearing him
fave.
talk, and like
right.
the words they make him say, the phrases are so fun and they're just smart. Like even his okay RoboCop, like he's just
It's
so
very
cute.
casual, yeah.
So casual and
Casual
cute.
humor, very cute.
And yeah, I mean, I don't know
Don't you
about
think so,
love Tim and
Isaac?
Shelby, but
Do I think he's cute? He's plenty good looking.
Okay,
He's
before
not
we
my
get
type.
right, before we get it, he's actually not our type either, right? We don't really.
No,
I'm not
not
a blonde
usually.
fan,
Yeah.
but before we get into like Alex lying under oath, let's go back to Quantico. We start off with Charlie, and there's these kidnappers, and he's not saying who it is because he's afraid that it's going to trace back to him. And just to refresh you guys, Charlie was part of this online chat group in a way.
Right.
Was it like a cult, or I need to refresh my memory actually.
oh, that was from a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Because
and that's what Raina was looking
that
at.
these are the guys who kidnapped him, the ones he was contacting. They were
Yeah.
pretty much involved with
I forget that though,
criminal
when that was-
activities.
He does like name check all 4 of those dudes. They are all his age. He said none of them were men or adults or something to that effect.
Yeah.
And he's certainly hiding something there.
Yes, he definitely is. I like the Raina. Of course, Nima didn't get anything out of him, but I like the Raina Charlie interaction. I think she kind of like said something that resonated with him, that
Yes.
made her relate to him. That they're both so accused because of his skin color, and it really brought back to things that are happening in today's age.
Yeah.
Just exactly, which is like, and I love the references this show makes.
Yeah. I liked
Yeah.
that conversation a lot, and I think it's to say more, the whole episode, that part about their relationship. Naima.
Oh, it's Nima and Raina.
Nima,
Yeah.
and even though I wrote Nima, I said Naima. Raina, their relationship. I think it's to foreshadow something with them too. That Nima always thinks Raina's not good enough to do it.
Yeah, that she's not as good.
Because she didn't really want to be there, and Nima wanted to, and then, Raina kind of keeps things under wraps, so to say, with the whole Charlie thing that she discovers.
Look at you!
Pun
I'm
You're
just
Pun
putting it
intended.
up tonight,
Definitely
guys.
intended.
It's a late show. We
We
gotta
gotta
bring 'em
keep the
out. Keep the energy up.
I like that.
Yeah, they both have different strength, the sisters there.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Also cool because the same person's playing them, and she plays them
I
both
know.
differently. I thought that's
Crazy.
great.
I forget that all sometimes.
Yeah, but Charlie, like his whole thing with not saying it, he's sort of playing it off scared. Do you think he's actually scared, or is he covering for someone because he's connected
I
to
think
what's going
because
on?
of the one comment that Alex said to the mom,
Miranda,
thank
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
in the present day, I think he's completely making it all
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. Okay.
That one
when
comment.
he was like, "Mom, I'm fine. It's gonna be okay."
Yeah, what was
that?
that
Was a
about?
little.
Well, because you know why? He set up Raina. He set Raina up because she's even
then
the
she-
more
She goes, "Thank
into
you
the,
for trusting
Yep.
me."
Yeah, Steven.
Thank you, Stephen, for giving me a heart attack.
Oh wow. I was like,
I
wow.
love that though. But you're right. I think.
Yeah, no, I think he's full of it. I don't.
he
I
totally
think
is.
That he, and also that he is playing Raina there in the room because everybody's trying to get to him, and he finally maybe sees some sort of in there. I don't know.
And speaking of Raina and Nima, quickly, also they just came out in the way that they're both twins, so they also have to have self-identity issues.
Well, yeah.
Who am I? How are people going to look at us? So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
Yeah.
And let's talk about those new Nats for a sec.
Yes.
What do we think of them? I know their real names: Lenny Platt, Jay Armstrong,
Ooh,
Jay
that's a
Armstrong
lot.
Jordan, and Lee Jun Lee. I don't know I forgot the character name. I think it was like Wayne.
Yeah, Iris.
Will, and Drew.
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect.
They're like
So
Saved by the Bell new class or something. They're all upset about
That's
that
what it
coming
kind
in
of
there.
seems like, which I thought was a
Like
little
they come
early.
into the
but-
classroom like, what's this going on in here? It's the new recruits. They're a month ahead of you. I don't know. It was funny to me.
Oh my God, who did
it
you just
was.
sound like?
Like me? I don't know.
No, nothing.
I wonder
Continue.
who it sounded like. Do we have a live chat going on? I'd love to talk to people who are watching this. If we get any questions, Stephen, please send them my way. Our way. Okay, cool. Because people have a lot to say. But I think the relationship between, I think it was the NFL guy was Drew.
Yeah.
And Alex. Well, there's some sexual tension
Yeah,
there.
new
It was just
budding
like
something.
a Ryan and Alex again. You know, they're kind of like competing.
And it's interesting
stuff.
that they paired them up. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a guy girl.
And I can't believe Iris is trying to flirt with Caleb.
Oh, I know. That like stung a little bit.
Towards the end, that did sting. But what do you think of these activities that Miranda and Liam always assign to these people? They get so into it.
Backtrack on. And
it's always some sort of like other test.
Twist.
Like the actual test of the physical test is not the actual test.
Which I get, but then they make them get crazy about like, oh, we're gonna lose 5 people, and then they're like, well, so it wasn't fair, so you're gonna lose 2, and the other one's gonna lose 3.
Yeah, that was like my
There's
one.
too many math numbers. I was like,
Well,
what?
I'm just saying it's the FBI, and you're
That's
already
my
not
one bone to
staying.
pick because they've done this before to them, where it's
Yes.
like, oh, you're gonna have to like vote people off the island essentially, and then this time they're like, it's gonna happen again. I'm like, don't fall for this, not again.
Come on, haven't you guys learned by now?
Yeah.
They just get really into these games.
They're manipulated.
It was like paintball shooting, whatever it was. I mean,
Of course they do.
Which
it
is
looked
cool.
fun. They
I
have to, right?
say,
They're students.
for the episode and everything that goes on in making it, that is a really cool scene to shoot. And
Yeah, it was fun. It was really
The
fun to
shooting
watch.
scene.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
You're
And
right,
well
it was
done.
well made.
Yeah, because usually it's too dark and you're like, what the hell's happening? Like I can't stand
That's
movies
true.
like that or TV shows where the screen just
Yes.
goes black and you're like, who's doing what? So this one, they do it really well.
Did you guys like the Ariana Grande donut reference?
Yeah, that was funny. I
was funny.
actually liked Caleb's retort to that better. Okay, so I want you on my team for trivia night,
First things first, trivia night, you and me
But
together.
everything else?
Secondly, I hate you.
right.
Okay, love.
What? I don't know. Anybody else? They were called the Color Wars.
Yeah, it was good. Why were they called the Color Wars?
Well,
I mean, there was like
because
red versus blue or something.
That's like
to
if
that
you're in
sure.
camp and you're doing like an activity like that, that's what
Mm-hmm.
they're called.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. The upper class versus the lower class.
Which the upper class
literally what they
had
call
like,
it.
Like
10
skins-
times more of an advantage than the underclass.
Yeah.
So that wasn't fair to begin with.
Right,
but
right.
Probably
then it
some
should be a
sort of-
challenge for them to learn, not like you die or
Yeah.
like you lose 5 people.
Probably some sort of social commentary there about the upper class having the upper hand.
They have a lot of commentary in their show, let me tell you. They mentioned Ben Carson in the last episode.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
Oh, I missed that.
Okay, so Samar.
Oh,
Shelby's
or
fake sister.
Haifa.
Or
Haifa.
Haifa.
Yeah. Who's
Mufasa.
married.
Yeah, who's married.
That is totally
So we
out
see
of
this
left
guy
field.
named
Khalid. Khalid Saeed.
there you
Yes,
go,
there it is.
Miss Not Lebanese, Italian.
Right.
But you said the
But I've
name.
watched Dig and I've watched a number of shows
Dig.
that have all of these
Homeland.
awesome foreign names.
Yes. Okay, so he meets Shelby at a restaurant, and of course Caleb is just casually there, whatever, turns around. And pretty much the money that was wired to Samar was actually not for her. It was for somebody else that was demanding it. So when Caleb, they all blamed Caleb, like, oh, because of this guy, she's kidnapped. And he wants Caleb and Shelby to help find. That's a whole other plot now.
Way, yeah.
I mean,
The
you're
beginning
bringing
of a
in
whole other plot, yeah.
you already have Charlie going on and things are happening with Alex, and now it's like, okay. And that was always kind of building up, but now it's huge. Did you guys think that this could be connected to any of the bombings or any of the terrorist
Yes.
suspects? In what do you think it possibly could be?
They said that they're from Croatia.
Yes, I was just
and
gonna say
I
that.
don't know what that has to do with anything else because I haven't heard or paid attention to something that also would be tied in with Croatia. So right now, I can't think of what that could be.
I know,
but
it's hard.
Absolutely. You know what we're seeing? That these little side stories of the recruits' backgrounds do matter. They're a part of a bigger game. So, and I don't think Shelby's the only one.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Wait,
so.
was Caleb's group from Croatia? I'm just throwing that out there. I forget where his group was from.
I don't know,
Remember?
but I just thought of something, which I'll say later. What were you
Okay.
gonna say, Isaac?
I don't know. Say your thing now.
No, it kind of do with predictions. But, okay, fine. Forget that.
gonna
Let's talk
make
about
sure
the
you remember
ending
it.
because I will.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's not that good, but I'm like building it up now. I
really.
feel like
You should probably just.
I
say
should
it.
probably just drop it. Okay, so Alex is lying under oath. She read a statement out loud in Congress. This is back in New York at the hearing, and said she wants to move on. That
Now,
she doesn't believe that.
Is
I
it
lies.
lying if she doesn't have any facts either way?
Yeah.
Because she doesn't believe it, what she's saying.
Well, she doesn't believe it, but I guess
mean
the
she's
oath is
lying.
not whether you believe it or not. I guess
I
the
know,
oath
it's
is
whether-
whether.
So I'm right. You're agreeing with me.
But can
I
we
am agreeing
remember
with you.
what she said, though?
Well, she basically said everything that everyone's been saying throughout the whole episode is like there's no hard evidence to prove that there was
So
a
she can't
mastermind.
deny
But she
here.
didn't actually say that Elias doesn't have more people behind him. Elias was alone.
She said essentially that there's no evidence to prove that there is a mastermind or whatever
She was
the guy's
careful
called.
with that.
So I don't think it really is lying. I think it's her just saying.
She should have argued
also-
that with Ryan then.
Yeah, I would say, but also so that she can continue to pursue it and not have like all these eyes on her the whole time. Because if she's the only one still like holding on to this thing.
Yeah.
But even like the judge is kind of like, are you sure?
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I was actually surprised at the backlash she got because you have all these FBI agents saying you're killing us, you're hurting everybody.
Right.
You know, like she even said in her speech, I'm dividing New York, I'm dividing the
Yes.
country, or all this stuff over these two events. We're prolonging the, the whole trial. However, as soon as she says that statement, there's uproar and craziness. And,
Just like it was in the first episode.
Yeah, right. Complete chaos. And now she gets these phone calls that are all like death threats kind of to her-ish. And that, by the way, again, she's getting all this pressure from her own people who are then positioning her exactly where the terrorist wants her to be.
Right.
Hello? So is more than one person in on this? Are they just all that naive as FBI agents?
It's too naive. Obviously the show's like good, but sometimes like these kind of plots they add in and like character decisions they make, I'm not a fan of. Like they should have at least had a couple more people on her side. I think they really wanted to make it a full circle where she's again isolated and again
I think
accused
that was
of
an
something
awesome
that she.
call. It's a
an
great
awesome
comparison
call,
that
of course.
you're
Oh
making.
well, thanks.
No, I'm serious, right? Like I'm serious.
No, it's good that they did that.
I think there has to be more than one person in on whoever the voice
I agree.
is there, the
That
mastermind.
voice, though, can we talk about that voice? It was creepy. So she was getting all these random threats, and the other phone rings, and you called that when we were watching. And you're
Well,
like,
'cause
that's not her cell phone.
First, it just vibrated. Then it rang, and then it rang a different ringtone. I'm like, what? Does your phone do that?
So this voice was pretty much saying.
You set up different contacts as different rings.
Understood.
That does happen,
Understood.
but does Alex
could
have
be
time
a
for
Ryan.
that?
Time to
Alex-
do-
does
She
Alex have time for
she
that?
definitely has a Ryan ring. That's
For sure.
Yeah.
Or Liam
With
ring.
his picture.
But okay,
She
this
didn't care
voice.
about Liam.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
She
you
said
never know.
like not tonight.
But this
No
voice.
drinks.
Yeah, that's true. But this voice is saying, you're doing exactly what I wanted you to do. It took us time to heat up in the beginning during Quantico days, but now you're here where blah blah blah. And she the terrorist voice, someone leads her to this dark alleyway or garage, and we see Natalie. And at first we're like, wait, no, it can't be that easy. And
I
she's
thought
wearing-
it was Natalie. I was like,
Yeah,
that's
well-
who it took her to warm up to.
Do you think
And then
Natalie's
boom.
gonna? Do you think Natalie's gonna die?
Yes.
That could be in
prediction,
predictions, but yeah, I guess the voice will be in predictions. That was scary. Okay,
Yeah.
I was like, that was gonna be your voice in these next episodes.
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's no way it was going to be Natalie. That's too like.
Two, yeah.
I'm doing all these things. You're right where I want you. Here I am. Like,
Right.
I don't think that would happen that way.
No.
But
Well, we'll talk about that in predictions, but let's get into news and gossip first.
Okay.
Oh. Okay, there's like a little bit of news and gossip. First of all, Priyanka Chopra, you looked great at the Oscars. Good for you for being an Indian woman with a lead.
she didn't have a lot of choice about
is-
being an Indian woman, but she is.
You didn't let me finish my
Okay.
sentence.
Good
An
for
Indian
you
woman
for being
for
Indian.
having a lead on a network show in America.
I
and
think
for
that's
presenting
amazing.
at the Oscars.
A
It's
woman
really
lead of a
cool.
show and an Indian woman lead of a show. That's awesome.
Yeah, who came from Bollywood. Like, what a different
'Cause she's a
industry.
killer actress, that's
That we just do this all the time. No, we really don't. We have like values in that industry, which I'll explain later for those of you. I'll do a separate. Okay. The news is that virtual reality, right? It's becoming so mainstream.
Yeah,
So
it's
actually,
big.
Lexus, which is like Lexus, having their own like series. It's a mini web series that Caleb and Shelby are starring in.
Ooh, that's
It's really cute. So I
fun.
watched 3 minutes of it, which is only 3 minutes, and it shows you in a car, and they're talking to you, being interactive. Like, listen, newbie, come in with me, and let's crack this guy down.
Yeah,
and
we can be
Caleb
the new
and Shelby
class.
are like, yeah, exactly. So you can wear glasses with it, or you can
Yeah.
view it on your laptop. But it's a really cool separate series they're doing alongside
That's
with this,
awesome.
and Lexus has sponsored it. So you guys can check it on the ABC Quantico. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
thing that they're
is
doing with
way
virtual
cool.
reality.
And if you guys don't know, you can download apps on your phone for virtual reality. There's something called Google Cardboard, and it's just an app. And then there's also one for YouTube, and you download that one as well. And then it's awesome. You could actually buy these little glasses. They're like little goggles like this, but they're just magnifying glasses, and they're like $15 on the web. I forget what they're called, but I have a pair. Maybe I'll bring them next time so we can show.
Please do that.
Yeah,
So
and
it works with YouTube?
It works with YouTube.
So they could
yeah.
be watching this episode and virtually be here with us right
Exactly.
Oh, so we have to really address you guys a lot. Okay.
But the cool thing is, in Shelby, the reason why they're doing that, I know a lot about VR, and I've done a few videos if you guys want to go check it out. And they're all like, I tweet about them all the time through Be Terrific. So you do like this, and that way you're looking at the car and what's happening in the car for Lexus, as well as listening to
Yes.
Shelby. That's so cool.
Yeah,
what a
isn't it?
genius idea. And it's
is.
really like a new forward movement
Oh
in
my God,
technology.
it's
And
scary what VR is going to be doing to all of us soon.
it's very cool.
But I love it. I do love it.
Kudos, Lexus and Quantico.
I know. I love Lexus are safeguards. Okay, and we're getting a sophomore season. We have a second season of Quantico. So for all you fans out there, it's not going away anytime soon.
It better not. We have too many answers to discover.
Yeah, many answers. All right, predictions. Which is like not my favorite part of the show.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV.
So why don't you go first then, if that's not your favorite part?
Oh wow, you're gonna make me go first? You're gonna make me do that?
I can go first.
Good,
Okay, I'll go
please.
first.
Yeah, take it away, Isaac.
I need
I
like
love
influence from you.
predictions and AfterBuzz TV. Anyone listening? Iris and Caleb gonna hook up. It's gonna ruffle the feathers of
I love how you went
Shelby
there first. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's gonna happen. Also, I did think at some point with Claire, you know, her answers, she's a politician, everything sort of sounds like the right thing to say. But I don't know, maybe just because of Marcia Cross and Desperate Housewives or something like that. I think that she has something to do with this larger plot. And a bold prediction would be that she's on the voice on the phone. Boom.
Agreeing with you, for some reason, I got a very womanly vibe of
Yeah.
the voice on the phone.
Yeah.
I even said that to her.
Okay.
I don't know how. I think I can.
There was an
decipher
undertone.
that it was like a higher thing, which I haven't heard in other
It's a voice scrambler. It's hard to
scrambled
tell, but-
voices. Right, exactly. So I could be just crazy, but.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly if it's her. I wouldn't be surprised if her and Caleb were actually in cahoots over something from way back in the day, and then it's just gonna bubble up. I hope not, because Caleb, I love you, and I don't want anything to happen to you. I want to say that Natalie's gonna die because I don't love her character. She's one of my least favorites.
yeah.
However, like Simon in the last one, he didn't die. Other people died. I think the same's gonna happen. The bomb's on her just to distract from something else happening. So that's a huge prediction, and probably my best one because I'm very poor at these. I just love watching so much, and I'm like, tell me what's happening.
All right, we'll save one pat on your back for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
She's
I feel like I
can't.
agree with both of you, to be honest.
That's okay.
I
You
definitely
can
think
agree.
Caleb is gonna hook up with
Which
Iris.
parts do you agree with?
Definitely Iris and Caleb are gonna hook up, and then Shelby's gonna get really upset
that's
about
just
that
gonna make me
and really
sad.
jealous. I want to know. I want to. Okay, I always thought that Miranda was a little shady, to be honest.
Miranda Shaw?
From the beginning of the episode, I thought there was something with her. She was too innocent. She was too good. She was too much on Alex's side, kind of. And I always thought that there might be something off with her, because I know her and Alex's mom had an interesting reaction too. Remember?
Yeah.
In the earlier, it could be so off. I don't think she's the woman on the phone, but I feel like
But why
I'm
did
half
she
and
save
half
her
on
then and let her
Miranda.
go? Like, let her escape.
exactly you're already feeling so like sympathetic for her.
And she's still
I don't know.
she's still there. It's
I'm
not like she
between
got
exactly. I'm between Shelby and Miranda's like an iffy. I definitely think Caleb's mom is guilty for something. Definitely, she wants a higher position. She wants greed. She wants money.
She had a motive to do something there. But because I sort of suspect Caleb too, especially because of what happened at the end of episode 11. This was episode 12.
12, yeah.
But that to me feels like a red herring sort of situation. So it's interesting that you say Miranda though, because she seems to be the one character that they don't really point to
Ever.
with all this
Yeah.
sort of shady business. which would mean that all these other characters are a distraction, and maybe she is. Like, the one you suspect the least should be the one.
I just hope it's not someone that wasn't presented in the first 11 episodes.
Oh, it's definitely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Well, now they have all the
Well, no, it has
recruits
to be,
and there's
because-
But it has
50.
to
I'm
be,
like,
right?
please don't.
Yeah, they point to
The
too many
first-
times that it's
yeah.
somebody that was in the academy.
Yeah, unless
Yeah.
they're throwing us off about that, you know?
Right, they could. They're the writers.
They can
Right?
do whatever they
They
want.
can do whatever they want.
I don't
it's-
think
yeah,
they-
it's
I don't think they
interesting.
would do that to us, though.
The thing about the show is you never know where it's going to go.
Right.
So, well, we'll have to wait until episode
Yeah.
13 and many more.
Doing
It's
it-
exciting. And let's
Super excited.
hope that we can get more guests in, too. I've been kind of like, vying for that. So.
Hey,
They're-
we're
it's
guests,
just-
we're
they
guests
film-
right here. We're
Yes.
your guests.
Oh,
Come
right,
on.
yeah. No, but really, they film in Montreal, so it's really hard to get them in. But we can hopefully do Skypes and stuff.
Yeah.
So, cross our fingers for that.
Let's do it.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's After Show on AfterBuzz TV for Quantico episode 12. I'm your host, Kanika Lal. Follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal, as well as follow AfterBuzz TV on all social media. And my lovely co-hosts.
Lovely. Thank you so much for saying that. Isaac Johnson on Twitter, the Isaac Johnson on Instagram. You can see my photos of cocktails and everything else that I do. I also have an album on iTunes called All the Things We Are under my name.
What?
Awesome.
Look that up. Yeah.
Cool. You
She's
guys,
hidden talent.
I'm Andrea Fasano, and definitely tweet us. I'm really pumped to get into Quantico and talk about this. I've been a fan of the whole season since it came out. So tweet us, totally. Let us know what you're thinking, and follow me at Andy Fasano on all social media. And yeah, like we said about that VR stuff, if you want, I've got some cool videos on it, and we can get used to it. So I'm definitely going to check those out so we can talk about them next show.
Sweet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.